Hey guys, what's going on? Dream Phoenix coming at you. If your discussion groups are anything like mine, they are alive with an electrical current that you can almost see. Less than a fortnight until the big day. So herein, from my friends and I, are 4 of the ideas exciting that electrical current to yet greater majesty. Genesis, a being with global ambitions, perhaps nigh indestructible, awareness enough to have ended the degradation cursing his existence, patience and cunning enough to strike at an opportune moment to ensnare a supervillain who has already appeared in the remake continuity long before he did in the original possibility. Perhaps he is aware enough to have a semblance of idea of what is going on, both before and after Singularity. A magister of the play who has gone toe-to-toe with Sephiroth and remembers the one-winged angel preceding his viral insanity and tragic downfall. A Genesis whose final intoned words of Crisis Core Reunion right before completing the final act of Loveless were about a future bereft of promises and an unforestallable return. What is the name of the theme song for Rebirth? Could be nothing, but it might not. Jenova, whose color is dark, vibrant red, tearing the sky asunder in the cover art, whose aspect of the multiverse somehow lies beyond creation, which should be impossible, yet is also intuitive, for Jenova in every way appears like a super intelligent virus. Her consciousness is non-local, distributed, a hive mind. When she is inside multiple bodies, she does not see multiple versions of herself. It is all the same Jenova. Her singular purpose seems to be nothing more than spreading and consuming, much like a virus. And yet this being from beyond creation is capable of speech that conjures from free will, free expression. It is not a reaction like a chatbot or parrot. In fact, it was spoken unbidden, and she speaks with specific target and intent. She is far more than a hyper-intelligent, selfless, biological algorithm. She is not natural, she is impossible, and red is her color, and not Sephiroth's. It seems that it is very possible that there is a violent rendezvous between red and violet, which are at opposite ends of the spectrum. Power, responsibility, and what would you do for the dream called Rome? Portal and proto-relics. Portal is a materia discovered in the labs of the embodiment of evil, Hojo. It allows instantaneous travel through space and time, though the mechanism of its governance are not wholly understood, even by Hojo, who presumed that it was useless and shelved it. And the only reason it's having any impact at all in Ever Crisis, including the First Soldier, which is the same continuity as Remake, is this extremely powerful materia somehow got out of the labs into other people's hands. It is not wholly known who and what all else have access to this materia's power and who might be encountered with its use. However, there is one staunch limitation to Portal. The likely reason that Hojo shelved it to go through and come back is to have no conscious awareness of what happened on the other side. Although your subconscious mind, your body, will remember what happened. And then proto-relics, ancient effigies from a forgotten age, each of which exude a minute perturbation in space-time. And who is it who's searching for these? A being in the shape of a young male android. A being whose consciousness is not wholly trapped in being expressed through the body, much like a Cetra, Chadley, who can natively navigate the hyperplane of VR. This being wishes to round up all of the proto-relics to an unknowable end. While I do believe he has broken free from Hojo's grasp, how can one be entirely sure? These edifices represent power, and hopefully with their use comes responsibility. But the ignoration of responsibility might not just come from evil. What would you do for the dream called Midgar, freedom, the future? What would you do to protect the planet? What price would you pay to save someone you love, to take their hand and never let them go? As with throughout all of Remake, choices matter, with heightening intensity as the story continues to flow. This will likely become an ever more emotionally tumultuous truth. Sephiroth. beyond being indestructible as Advent Children Sephiroth was, even after he was vanquished a second time. Is he gone? Seemingly not. The question that was asked, at least by me, could he ever truly be beat? But beyond this indestructibility, the one-winged angel could be unbeatable, especially Ore, Edge of Creation, Ever Crisis, Sephiroth. His strategic cunning and patient resolve to execute upon his unknown endgame with minimal yet unstoppable force has resulted in him wrenching the Crisis Core cycloptic version of Jenova, the Jenova witnessed all throughout Final Fantasy VII, not the final form version of Jenova witnessed right at the end, which is also the one witnessed in Shinra Tower. Not that Jenova, the iconic cycloptic version of Jenova. He wrenched her from a singularity at the center of many possibilities. He has consumed Gaia's former infinite arbiters. He has absorbed a continuity of memories. He has opened a rent in the fabric of reality and taken his opposite, the Mako warrior, Mr. Cloud Strife, to the edge of creation. This Sephiroth is nearly a dark god, unlike Advent Children Watashi Sephiroth, who required special circumstances that resulted from sacrifice, immense effort, and desperation in order to manifest bodily, to embody, and then fight Cloud. Unlike this Sephiroth, Ore, Edge of Creation Sephiroth, seems to be able to appear from thin air, deliver a few cryptic lines to what should be his mortal enemies, and then cut a wormhole through infinite beings and exit through that wormhole. The power and awareness this being has is unimaginable. What is his endgame? Before his unconquerable might and brilliance, do heroes stand a chance? And another question, a little bit more emotional, do they think they stand a chance? There might come a point when the question is asked, what would you do? What price would you pay to save someone you love? Yet, all is not lost. Red is not Sephiroth's color. The sky that is being torn asunder is turning red, something that Watashi Sephiroth appears to be blind to. But as Ore Sephiroth directly led to the downfall of Crisis Core Cycloptic Jenova, it seems that he is not blind to this. So, it's reasonable to believe that even if their endgames do not directly oppose each other, their respective beliefs as to where Jenova sits in that endgame do directly oppose each other. And if these two aspects of the ultimate consciousness, that is Sephiroth, were to encounter each other, considering how ardently they believe in themselves and their endgame and what they're willing to do to execute upon that endgame, it's likely they would not be friends. But how could these two aspects of the same consciousness encounter each other other than in VR? Well, consider in Final Fantasy VII, in the mysterious hyperplane of the life stream, when Cloud remembers, Cloud embodies in multiple instances simultaneously, such that different aspects of Cloud can encounter himself. It's an exciting possibility that the black-feathered, irresistible force might be crossing swords with the black-feathered, irresistible force. Whether or not in the context of Rebirth these two encounter each other, there is one other, nigh indestructible, being very familiar with the life stream. And he is not Sephiroth's friend. And if you were to encounter either Sephiroth, inevitably, these two would be trading blows of sharp swords and sharper words. Imagination adventurers, the excitement continues to build. Until next time, I bid thee adieu.
Even if the morrow is barren of promises, nothing shall forestall my return. To become the dew that quenches the land, to spare the sands, the seas, the skies, I offer thee this silent sacrifice.